Here's me sounding like I'm all like, oh, I'm so like, I've got lots of self-worth and I'm really confident. I still see beautiful images of beautiful women and go, oh, I wish I looked like that, or I wish this and I wish that. I still do it, even though I know that that's, but I guess the difference is that I catch myself and go, oh, really? Like, sure, that might be nice, but actually, how amazing is what you've got? When you're younger, you often don't think about aging. Time and aging just felt so slow, and you could do so much, and even like days were long. And then there's some, I guess like life factors start to come into it as you get older around like this idea of having children or not. Have you achieved the milestones that people expect of you in life, which might be getting married or buying a house or all of these things? They kind of are connected to age and how old you are and how successful you are. So I think the older you get, the more there's a sense of pressure or milestones that you're meant to have achieved in your life. I'm a really assertive person. I always have been. I think I've always had a deep sense of self-worth. And even though I've made lots of awful choices as a young person and had, some pretty traumatic experiences as a young person, which has made me the person that I am today, underneath it all, there's always been this, I had a beautiful foundation to build from as a child. And I've had lived experience of mental health, which I think was what caused a lot of my wobbliness in my teens and into my 20s. But underneath that all, there's been this strong knowledge of a self-esteem and self-confidence in who I am as a person. I'm a good human, and sure, I've made mistakes, but I fundamentally am a good person that wants to do good things in the world. And I think knowing that about yourself and then battling through all of the things, especially being a teenage girl, but being a young person generally, but I think it's tough for teenage girls and for women in society with these expectations. This isn't a dress rehearsal. And so make the most and love how amazing you are and the person you are and the opportunities you get, and just, you're all in, just be all in on everything. But on a daily basis, I don't wear any makeup. I don't follow trendsetters or influencers on social media. That's just not it's just not my thing. It's not real to me. The thing that's most valuable is people being their authentic selves and recognizing how great they are as who they are and not needing to be anything else. But man, that is a hard message to get across when everything is telling you you should be and look a particular way. It was instilled in me a sense of self-worth and confidence as a young person. So the foundation was built from a young age that my parents told me I was worthy and a good person. And sure, there was chips at me around different things, and some of those things were chipped away around weight and how you looked and if you were popular. And so all of the things chipped away, but I think fundamentally there was something at the bottom that was there and that stayed there around self-worth. And I think that's the area that we need to focus in on, especially with children and young people, is building that foundation that you can come back to, because you're going to get heaps of punches along the way. But if that's there, it sort of stays there. Yes, it gets chipped away and broken, but it is still there. I think that's the key point. And then I think the second bit is that the world's massive, the universe is huge, and what's really important is not how you look and what you buy and what you eat and those things, but actually who you are in the world and how you treat other people. Here's me sounding like I'm all like, oh, I'm so I've got lots of self-worth and I'm really confident. I still see beautiful images of beautiful women and go, oh, I wish I looked like that, or I wish this and I wish that. I still do it, even though I know that that's, but I guess the difference is that I catch myself and go, oh, really? Sure, that might be nice, but actually, how amazing is what you've got? And I think something else that's helped me as being a long distance runner is the experiences of where running places has been able to take me, the things that I've seen, the people that I've met along the way. So I'm so grateful for the experience of running and movement, that instead of being I wish I looked like this, I'm so grateful that I have this level of fitness and this physical ability and these legs that can get me places. And so you become grateful for what you have rather than wishing you had something else. I think when I go all the way back to being a young woman, I can totally relate to being bombarded by images of what I should wear, how I should look, and how I should behave, and how men should see me, young men should see me. And that definitely has played a big role in my mental health and self-worth journey. And for years I just jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship and found my self-worth in the eyes of men, young men. The breakaway from that idea was I became more confident in who I was as a person, and that I'm a good human, and that's the thing that's to be valued, not how I look, but what I do in the world and how I make other people feel. And so just that switch of deeply believing that that's what's important, is how I show up and make people feel, and what I do to contribute to a better world. If that's what I can bring to the world and that's what I think is valuable, then you suddenly stop seeing those other messages as being important. So like some really simple answers would be like, my mum didn't really wear makeup, so I never grew up in a household where I watched a woman put on makeup. So that wasn't a thing. So that's probably one of the reasons why I don't do it, because it was never around me. I did it when as a teenage girl because my friends were doing it and it was what you did and it was expected, but like growing up, that wasn't a thing that I ever saw really, except when mum was like going out and dressing up. So that's like, I guess, the external kind of beauty. She's very much like me, a bit of a jeans and a t-shirt kind of person, and so I guess didn't wear heels, so I never like how you present yourself is just be comfortable, be yourself, wear what you want to wear. As a child, I think those are the sorts of things that mums can influence, and that's how, as an outward expression. An area that is is really different is around weight. So my mum is like, we're built similar, like kind of tall and lean, just straight up and down, it's our genetics. And she would often make comments about being fat or being overweight, and she isn't and never was, but definitely had issues and stories in her head around that, even as a tall, thin person. And yeah, I remember comments as a teenage girl around, my dad and my mum. I can't remember exactly what the words would have been, but comments around like, oh, you've put on a bit of weight, or you're looking a bit chubby, or are they a bit... So I definitely got, when I said earlier about being chipped at or knocked down, there were definitely comments that came from my parents. And of course, if I said to my mum now, she'd be horrified. But yeah, I remember them because they affect you and they are impactful. So I think I learnt early on as well that it's not okay to be fat or overweight, and you're supposed to strive. In saying that, I've always felt, as an adult in my 30s and to now, I've always felt confident in my figure because I am active and it gets me places, and I'm a long distance runner. And no, I'm not skinny or thin or whatever, but I'm healthy and fit and active, and I think my body is incredible. So I know how lucky and privileged I am to have a fully functioning, healthy body. So sure, if I've got a bit of fat here or a bit of whatever, it's like, I don't care. I love my body. I love what it can do. But I definitely remember not loving it and not thinking that it was beautiful and amazing. I hope that I feel the same sense of comfort with wherever I'm at, as long as my body still feels active and well and strong physically, as long as I'm still able to do the things that I love to do, like being out in nature. That's the most important thing, and continuing to be the best version of myself, which has nothing to do with how I look, or like what colour hair I have, or how much weight I have and haven't gained, or just that I'm able to do the things that I love and continuing to live by my values.